think you're stressed, try being a plant. It's really hard to be a plant because plants cannot move, cannot escape stress. And stresses can be of two types. Essentially environmental stresses that are abiotic stresses, so temperature, water, light, or nutrient changes. And then there are biotic stresses. Biotic stresses basically are caused by living creatures, essentially microbes that can interact with plants. And these are bacteria, fungi, viruses, nematodes, and also insects and predators. When you think about these kind of stresses, you may think about extreme conditions, extreme environments like deserts or places that are very dry where temperatures are really, really hot. But you also have to think about the fact that plants are actually every day in your garden, for example, outside, and they have to cope with frosty mornings in UK, for example. And whilst you are comfortably in the house, they have to be outside and cope with this every day. And so we have to find a way to understand how we can help plants coping with this kind of stresses. It is very important to understand why plants respond to stress, because we want to help plants survive, and also we want to understand about the molecules that are mediating these responses to stress. What we do in my lab at Royal Holloway University of London is exactly that, trying to understand what are the molecules that are produced by plants during responses to stress and use this potential to cure diseases, so for animal health, for human health, and also to produce energy. So what we do in my lab is to grow plants and fungi in a very controlled environment. This is called in vitro grown. And we are able to basically subject them to stress, and we're also able to study how the plant and the fungi interact in this particular environment. What we're also able to do, and this is incredibly difficult, is to grow plants like this one, which is Scutellaria bicalensis, and this one, which is Andrographic paniculata. And these are plants that are usually growing in very difficult environment, like top of the mountains of China, for example. We can reproduce the conditions of growth of these plants in our lab to be able to produce those compounds that otherwise would be produced only on the top of the mountains in China. So we are facing increasing demands for food, for medicines, for energy. Would you believe that we might be able to solve all these in the future with plants? Well, I hope I gave you a little bit of an insight into these and on how big is the potential of plants that produce so many molecules to defend themselves, but we can also exploit these very same molecules to resolve these problems that a world with an increasing population is facing.